So let's talk about believability in advertising and let's really focus on why a lot of advertising fail. Now, I'm going to talk to you about, I'm just going to give you an example of this as to why believability is important when you're advertising. Let's take, for example, everyone knows who Lionel Messi is. And if you don't, I don't know where you've been. But let's take him for an example. If Messi said to us that, hey, I can score three penalties in the same spot, in the same corner, and the keeper won't be able to get it, we probably believe him. We're probably like, yeah, you're right. You are Messi at the end of the day, Ballon d'Or winner, played for some of the biggest clubs in the world, known as one of, if not the best footballer to ever grace the sport. So we're not gonna be skeptical. We probably believe him. But if Messi in the same light then said to us, hey, look, you see, when it comes to basketball, when it comes to shooting as well, I'm just as good on shooting as I am when I'm playing football. Steph Curry or LeBron James has nothing on me when it comes to shooting. We would probably be like, I'm not too sure about that, Messi, because first of all, not that it probably doesn't really matter in the broader sense, but you are 5'7", and with basketball, it's important that you're tall to an extent, all right? Well, actually, it's very important that you're tall. You hardly see any short players in the NBA. Um, but also, why it wouldn't be believable is that we're not stupid as humans. We know certain things, certain claims. You can only be great or masterful at one thing. You can't be great at multiple things, you know. And if there are people, which is nothing is impossible, if there are people that's really good at multiple things, they're few and far between. Not a lot of people can master one, two, three different things because mastery takes a long time. But, anyways, let's bring that back into advertising. When you make multiple claims or multiple promises, or you make big promises, or you present multiple offers, people find it hard to believe compared to if you just made one single promise. Then people are thinking, okay, it's just one thing. I'm confident that this person could deliver on it. A lot of the times we forget the fundamentals of certain things, and in the field of advertising, people forget what advertising actually is from a first principle standpoint. Advertising in its own definition is salesmanship in print. So basically what that is that however you would sell um, from a face-to-face interaction, that's basically what you're doing in advertising. So it's a thing of what think of how you would approach a stranger. Let's say you done landscaping, okay? And but you also do handyman work or you do house repairs or whatnot. So you do three things. But let's just say you you were going door to door, knocking on people's door to potentially sell them a service, right? How would you approach that if you were doing it face to face? You would think about what you're going to say, wouldn't you? You wouldn't bombard somebody and say, "Hey, I do landscaping, I do handyman work, I do any house repairs you got, I also do plumbing." No, 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 you wouldn't. You would pick one service out of those three or four that you do, and you'd approach somebody and you'd say, "Hey, for example, I see that your lawn needs doing. I own a landscaping business. How about I do your lawn for free? You don't have to pay me anything. All I ask is for you to give me some feedback or a testimonial, and for you to consider me next time you want your lawn to be done. Does that sound fair? Do you see the singularity of focus, the singularity in what you're asking the person to do? They're either going to say no, and it's clear in what you're asking. You're not asking a million things. That is exactly how you should be doing your advertising. You shouldn't be trying to offer too many things, because the person across you is just going to become overwhelmed by all these things you're offering. Also, we have to factor in that you're a complete stranger. They don't know who you are. So that makes the situation even more trickier than it needs to be. So your approach has to be to the point, it needs to be clear, it needs to be concise. So when you're offering one thing, let's say, hey, you're gonna do the landscaping, do their lawn. They can believe that you might do a good job. Obviously, they'll wait to see what it looks like, but they're not going to be too skeptical. Also, you're not charging them to do their lawn, so there's no risk on their part on unless you're just terrible at what you do, and then their lawn is left like a badger went through it. But hey, that's the importance of having a singular message in terms of what you're offering. And the antidote to this is using what are called the rule of one. And you can see it in every domain of your life, but especially in business. When you go for just one thing, or you just focus on one thing, it makes everything more, you approach everything else with clarity. For example, if you were doing offering four services, but you decide to just do one thing, it makes everything easier for you. All your processes, the operation, even if you were hiring people to work with you, it's more easier to train them. And most importantly, it makes your offer more clear. There's more clarity to what you do. Um, it's more believable. Everything that you do then is much more streamlined, and that's how you can start building systems in your business, and then working on your business where you can think strategically rather than working in your business where you're having to do all these work. Because think about it, when you're offering so many services, you are in reactive mode rather than proactive, because if you just do one thing, you can know what to do at every step. And Jack Dorsey had this amazing quote, and he said, um, I can't remember verbatim what he said, but he said, make every detail perfect and limit the details in a system. So if you're just doing one thing, is that you're not being stretched, not people not coming to you, and then every client comes with a different expectation, and then you're having to switch. No, when you offer one thing, that's the one thing you offer. You know exactly what people expect, and you can build a system that is predictable. Systems don't like when there's too much variance, because then you can't actually build a proper data set as to what needs to be done. And just imagine how good you'd get if you're just focusing on one thing only and doing it for a long time. That's how you be known for doing one thing, and that's how you can charge a premium price. I just wanted to share that thought, because I think a lot of businesses or business owners even could do with just focusing on doing one thing and doing it well. And then when you do have the capital, when you got the system in place and everything, then you can sort of expand or go to an adjacent market or offer more services. But too many of us are trying to do too many business owners even are trying to do too many things at the same time. Whereas the most important thing to do is find a small group, especially when you're first starting out. Find a small group of people, a specific group of people that you serve, and serve them well, and then build from there. And that's how you can scale, and scale to multiple seven figures, multiple eight figures. But first, you got to be specific in who you serve at the start. I hope you found some value in this video. Subscribe, because I'll be sharing more videos like this in the future. So hit the subscribe button, give this a like if you've got any value from it. See you in the next one.